What's going on, pole polishers? It's your boy, the commish, back from his trip to Boston to watch Dave get married in that liberal hellhole that half of you call home. Anyways, it was a crazy 2 weeks, and I feel like my garbage preseason rankings held up pretty well. Let's just get this shit started off with our undefeateds that we still have left. First of all, we have Greg getting his first win ever in 5 matchups with Moylan. Surprised that Moylan's beaten anybody 4 times. Wild finish to this one though. Greg 2-0 at the end. He's looking good on the back of Alvin Kamara, who erased a 38-point deficit on Monday Night Football, coming down to garbage time with a reception. His team is being mostly untouched by the injuries going around. Greg's in a good spot, but Moylan, his team, is reeling this week after losing Saquon Barkley for the year, along with this close matchup. Just a quick look at how Moylan's doing.
Oh, okay.
Next, we got the defending champ putting on a show, getting the $75 cash prize high score for the week, while he remains flawless 2-0. It's a good start to his title defense. If he gets Michael Thomas back, he's going to be a big factor in this year's playoff picture. And so will Betro, who got a bad break in his matchup this week, but he's in a good spot injury-wise, unlike everybody else, thanks to the good depth that he's got from his good draft. John powers his way to 2-0 despite losing Le'Veon Bell in week 1. He's still looking like a contender in these early goings, and my guy just puts up very little resistance. His squad's looked all over the place. I'd personally advise a good ass chewing.
What the hell's going on out here?
This one was notable for Ryan's high score, his bounce back from week 1. While he's not untouched by the injury bug, his team is still solid. I'm not a fan of my team's inconsistency looking at you Atlanta boys, but I think I'm still okay for now. Breen's team is indeed looking girthy after a win this week. Campbell's team may be a little overrated here in my next segment that I'm going to go to when you consider all the injuries he's had, Christian McCaffrey and George Kittle, despite a win that he got this week, a pretty big one at that. Shu and Dave's squads are both looking lacking in firepower. I'd advise both of these guys to hit the waiver wire. With all these injuries, there's got to be some talent left, somebody worth it to roll the dice on. Otherwise, you guys might be in trouble. My preseason rankings get a little tweak here and there, but I think I was pretty solid considering how little thought I put into it and how much 2020 has fucked everybody injury-wise. I put the defending champ back on top because as long as he's in front record-wise, we're going to defer to his status as the reigning champ. Greg stays where he is. Betro and John round up the top third of the rankings. Then we dive into the sea of 1-1s. Teams, we got Breen, Campbell, me, Ryan, Moylan, who's down at the bottom due to Mr. Barkley's knee being assassinated by 2020. And while Shu and Dave and my guy make up the bottom of the rankings here at 0-2, maybe don't feel bad for them quite just yet, because after some research, I've found that of the 24 different teams to reach the playoffs in league history, 6 of those teams started 0-2. That's 25%. A quarter of all teams that ever qualified for the playoffs started out 0-2. That just shocked me. What's even more ridiculous is how pronounced it is in the past 2 years since we opened up the playoffs to 6 teams. So of the 12 teams that did qualify in the last 2 years of playoffs, 5 of those motherfuckers started out 0-2. Betro pulled it off 2 years in a row.
So hold up a second. You just told me that like 6 of the teams ever made the fucking playoffs after being 0-2. And then you said 5 in the last 2 years. So what the fuck? Who's that one dude that managed to fucking do it in the era when only 4 teams were making the playoffs? Like started 0-2 and then still made it. Like that guy's gotta have a cock the size of a fucking monster can, dude. Who was it?
Well, that's because it's me. Yeah, it's me. I did it in 2017. Got a really big dick. Go fuck yourself.